At the beginning of the story, it shows a man waking up from sleep, and he thinks where he is. Maybe he's in a hotel. It seems like he's been here for a few days, but he doesn't remember anything. Now, he gets ready and goes outside. It's a hotel, and he shows a photo at the reception and asks, "Someone was supposed to meet me here?" Just then, the same man arrives from behind. He says, "Lenny." He says his name is Leonard. "Maybe I told you before." He says, "Yes, you say this, Arbor." This man's name is Taddy, and these two go to a parking lot. Taddy approaches a car, and then Leonard takes out a photo of a car from his pocket and tells him that this is not his car. His car is the other one. In front of that car, there's another imported car, a Jaguar. Leonard says, "It's not good to make fun of a sick person." Taddy says he was just joking, and now these two. Leonard says, "You know." Teddy says, "Yes, but it's an old building. Why are we going there?" Leonard says he doesn't remember, and both of them reach the place. There's a car already parked there. Leonard asks whose car it is. Teddy says it has been parked there for years. But when Leonard looks at the car's tires, he says these tire marks are just a few days old. And Leonard notices there are some bullets in that car as well. And among those photos, there's one of Teddy as well. Behind it, it's written, "Don't believe this. This is the one. End it." Leonard says, "What is this after all? I've been searching for it for so long." Now Teddy also comes inside, and he sees Leonard taking a gun out of his pocket. He realizes something and starts to run away from today onward. But Leonard hits him on the head, and holding him at gunpoint, says, "Apologize for what you have done." Teddy says, "You can't. You don't even know who you are." Leonard says, "My name is Leonard, and I am from San Francisco." Teddy says you were someone else before, but now you are something different. If you really want to know, go down to the basement. Then you will find out who you are. But he doesn't listen to Teddy because he would have written behind his photo not to trust his words, and he kills Teddy. And this is the end of the movie Memento. And now the whole story comes in a flashback where it will be shown what is the relationship between these two, why they've come here, why Leonard killed Teddy, and why Leonard writes his name behind the photo. In the flashback, it is shown that Leonard wakes up in a hotel room, but doesn't remember how he came to that room. And actually, Leonard suffers from a disease called short-term memory loss, which means he forgets what happened 15 minutes ago every 15 minutes. He doesn't know why he is at a particular place, what he is doing, or what he is talking about. All this happened because of a head injury. He remembers everything before the injury, but nothing about the recent events. Actually, one night 2 men were raping his wife and killing her by strangling her when Leonard arrives there and shoots one of them. But as he goes inside, the other criminal attacks him, causing a deep injury to his head, and Leonard develops a condition called short-term memory loss. As a result, Leonard's wife dies. Now, Leonard writes things down and also gets tattoos on his body to help him remember. He also has a tattoo of a man named Sammy Jankis on his hand. And this man is someone who also has this disease. Leonard gets this tattoo on his hand so that he remembers what happens in this disease. In fact, Leonard was an employee of a medical insurance company, and when Sammy Jankis got this disease, Leonard handled his entire case. All this he did before he suffered a head injury. So he remembers everything about it. Leonard receives a call, and someone tells him that Jimmy Grant is hitting on his girlfriend at the bar. Leonard says that he always thought he would beat him up because of the drinks. "This is the same man, and I am ready." The man on the phone says that he is waiting for you downstairs in the lobby, so you should come down. Leonard goes downstairs and meets a man there. Leonard also takes a photo of him so he can remember. Leonard asks if he should write the name Gamal or Officer. The man says, "Look, write Teddy." Leonard asks why. The man says he is undercover. Leonard writes Teddy under the photo, and now Leonard is about to kill that man who's... Teddy does not go with him. He tells Leonard to torture and kill him, and Leonard drives his car towards that place. It is a deserted place, and Leonard parks his car outside and goes inside. There is no one there. Then another car arrives, and it is a Jaguar. One man comes out of there and calls Teddy's name because a truck is parked outside, and Teddy called him here. He thinks Teddy is inside, and the man goes inside, but Teddy is not inside. Leonard says, "Jimmy Grands?" Jimmy knows Leonard. Leonard asks, "Do I know you?" He says, "Yes, remember well. At that moment, Leonard attacks him fiercely, and he falls down. And then Jimmy tells him to take off his clothes, to which he asks why. Leonard says he doesn't want blood on them. Jimmy says, "Look, there are 2 crores in the car. You can take all of it." Leonard replies that he isn't tempted by money. He doesn't want their money. Then he strangles Jimmy to death and takes a photo of him, so he remembers that he killed his victim, his wife's murderer. Now, he is taking him down to the basement, and just then, the name Sammy Jankis comes out of his mouth. Hearing Sammy's name, he is surprised, and Lynette asks how he knows about Sammy, and he leaves him there and comes up. Actually, he is surprised to hear the name Sammy Jankis because he used to tell about Sammy to those who knew him well. If he knew him well, then he couldn't be his wife's murderer. He suspects he might have killed the wrong man. Just then, Teddy arrives there, and he is about to take something from Jimmy's car. Leonard sees him and takes out some photos from his pocket, one of which is of that man. Although, he met Teddy just a little while ago, but he has forgotten everything. But just a little while ago, the man he hit was calling out Teddy's name, and there is money in his cart. Teddy is going to open the cart to take the money, and Lynette realizes that this is the very man who trapped him because some dirt is found there. Lynette also knows Teddy and the man who died, so he understands that this man played the whole game for money and had someone bad killed instead. Now, Lynette flees and tells him that and even then Lane attacks him from behind, and he pulls out his ID from Teddy's pocket. Lane looks at the ID and sees that he is a police officer. He says, "You're a police officer?" He replies, "Yes," and tells him, "I found this man for you." Lane says he knew me. Teddy says, "Yes, he knew you because he raped your wife, and this is your defeat." And his name was James F. Grant's John G. You can check your tattoo if you want. Leonard asks why he brought 2 crore rupees. Terry says I told him that I have a lot of drugs. Leonard asks how he knew about Sammy Jankis. Teddy says that the hotel where you stayed deals drugs there, and you tell everyone about Sammy. That's how he knew about the Sammy Jankis. Teddy tells him that your VV Rev saved you, and he was very worried about your condition. Your wife had diabetes. And Leonard covers his mind and says, "No, my wife did not have diabetes. Do I not know my own wife? And the man I was supposed to kill, now you have gotten your revenge. Be happy as long as you remember it. What difference does it make? Anyway, you will never remember that you have taken your revenge." Leonard says he will remember. Teddy says you won't. "I also thought you would remember, but you didn't. We caught the real John a year ago, and you killed him yourself. I had your wife's case. But you didn't remember, and after killing him, you started searching again because you didn't remember. That's why I helped you again to find that man whom you had killed first." He also shows Leonard a photo, which belongs to Leonard. He says, "I took a picture when you killed the Real John G. How happy you were." Leonard says, "You used me." Teddy says, "I gave you a reason to live, and also gave you your wife's complete file. From that, which 12 pages did you remove?" Leonard says, "Maybe you did." Teddy tells him, "It wasn't me, it was you. You did it so that a secret would remain. You know how many John G. S there are in this very city. And I am also one John G. He says that your name is Teddy." Teddy explains that my mother calls me Teddy. My real name is John Edward Gamal. That is John G. You should be happy. We have plenty of John G. S to kill. After this, Leonard gets annoyed and leaves from there. And before leaving, he even puts on Jimmy's clothes. And he gets into his car. After sitting in his car, and he thinks that I am not a murderer. I just wanted to set things right. Can I forget all that Teddy just told me? And behind that Teddy's photo, it is written, "Do not believe what he says, Jude says," and he burns that photo in which he is unhappy. And according to Teddy, this photo was taken by Teddy when Leonard killed the Real John G. He burns that photo and the photo of Jimmy that he took after he died. Both of them, and then Teddy, and he thinks that you too are John. You had an innocent person killed by my hands. You shouldn't have used me. Now my next target will be you, Teddy aka John. And he leaves his car there, and Jimmy, whom he also hit, takes a photo of his important car and writes on the photo, "It is my car," meaning this car is mine. Then he goes to a tattoo shop and parks his car there. And as soon as he arrives, everything happens, all those things that Now he will only remember the facts he has, and he takes out the paper on which he had written the Teddy's vehicle number. Teddy also tells him that the police are looking for him, and he knows all this because he is an informer. When he goes inside to change clothes, there's a photo of Teddy in his pocket with a note saying, "This is a liar. Don't trust his words." There's also a business card in his code's pocket that says, "Meet me later, Natalie." This code belongs to Jimmy, and Natalie works with Jimmy in the drug trade. And now, Lenovo jumps out the window, gets into his car, and drives away from there. He says that I have short-term memory loss, so I don't remember anything. Natalie says, "Oh, so that's you." Leonard says, "Do you know me?" She says, "No. Jimmy told me about you. He said you live in Hotel Discount." Natalie asks, "Are you Teddy?" He says, "No, my name is Leonard." She asks, "Did Teddy send you?" She asks this because she knows that Leonard and Jimmy have a meeting today. He says that moo. Natalie asks what happened with Jimmy. Leonard says he doesn't know anything about Jimmy. That's why she asks, because she recognized his car, which Leonard came here in. Leonard tells her that he can't make new memories and he came here because he had a car from here in his pocket. It was written that if I meet you in Agra, although that was meant for Jimmy. But he doesn't remember that Jimmy has a suit. Now Natalie tells a man sitting right there to spit in the whiskey glass to check him. Then she also spits in that glass. And then she spits herself. And all three of them spit into it. And after just a few minutes, she gives the same alcohol to Leonard. And he starts drinking it because he had forgotten that everyone has spat in it. Seeing this, Natalie becomes convinced that he is telling the truth. She asks him what the last thing he remembers is. He says that when his wife was taking her last breaths. Hearing this makes Natalie feel bad, and she brings him another drink and takes Leonard to her house. He tells her that he wants to kill his wife's murderer. He wants to take revenge. Natalie tells him that he can stay here for a few days. And she leaves from there, but Leonard takes a photo of her and writes her name behind it. But now Natalie knows that she doesn't remember anything, and when Leonard is staying with Natalie, Teddy comes to meet him and tells him not to stay with Natalie because she knows about your illness and will use you since she has recognized this car and your suit. And he says that because this car and suit belong to Natalie's boyfriend, Jimmy, whom Leonard killed, and Leonard himself doesn't know anything about it because he had burned the photo of Jimmy's dead body that he had taken. Teddy tells him a lot about Leonard and then leaves. When Leonard looks behind Teddy's photo, he finds written there, "Don't believe his lies," so he doesn't pay attention to what Teddy says. Now, one day when Leonard is at home, Natalie comes and tells him that a man named is threatening her. He wants to know what happened to Jimmy and his money, and he thinks that I took the money, which is not true. Jimmy had taken 1 crore rupees to meet a man named Taddy, and he hasn't returned. Now, Jimmy's partners believe that I did all this. "You go and kill that guy for me. I'll give you the money." Leonard refuses. He says he doesn't kill anyone for money. Leonard's refusal angers Natalie a lot, and she speaks very badly about Leonard's wife, even calling her a prostitute. She says, "Now I will use you, and you won't even remember all these things." Hearing all this, he gets very angry and punches Natalie, causing blood to start coming from her face. Then he gets into his car and sits down. But Natalie had hidden all the pens. As he searches for the pens, he mutters all this to himself so he can remember and write it down. Meanwhile, Natalie is watching all this from her car. After a few minutes, Natalie comes back inside, and by now Leonard had forgotten everything. He asks Natalie what happened, who hit her, and she says, "Dad hit me a lot." Leonard says why she says that because of you. At your behest, I want to meet him. I told him that I don't have Jimmy's money or drugs. Maybe Teddy ran away with everything, but he didn't believe me and said if he doesn't get the drugs by tomorrow, he'll kill me. He tortured me. Actually, Natalie takes advantage of Leonard's illness. Leonard asks Natalie for his address and reaches his hotel room, but he is not there and Leonard tries to kill him. And then he forgets everything. He slurs where he is and, handing over a bottle of wine, he slurs whether he is drunk or not. Then he starts undressing and bathing there because he has forgotten why he came here in the first place. Then someone breaks into his house. So he attacks and eats him and then takes a photo of him. Then he takes out the note that Natalie had given him. The note says to hand it over to Teddy or dispose of it for Natalie. Now he calls Teddy and says, This is Leonard speaking, and I need you. Now, Teddy comes there and sees that he's kept a man captive, and he says that he has. But he has forgotten again why he did that. And he asks Todd who hit you. He says, you hit me. And he takes him out from there at gunpoint and tells him to go far away from the city. After this, Leonard goes to Netley and shows him Todd's photo, saying that you messed up my work. She says, you did my job. Anyway, it was your own decision to help me. He had beaten me badly, and he had gone to meet a man named Teddy and never returned, and his name is Jimmy, although Jimmy was not killed by Leonard. Neither Netley nor Leonard knows anything about this. Now he writes behind Netley's photo that she has also lost someone and will definitely help you. That night, he sleeps with Netley and says to himself, how did I end up here? Natalie tells him that she will definitely find out about the license number of which the tattoo was made on his leg. Natalie writes the name of a restaurant and the time on a piece of paper and tells him to come meet her there. Now, Leonard returns to his hotel. The next day, he looks at the note that Natalie gave him, which says he has to meet Natalie at 1 o'clock today, and she will give him some information. Leonard looks at her photo, on the back of which she wrote H. Now, Leonard goes to a restaurant to meet Natalie. She is sitting in front of him, but he doesn't recognize her. Natalie tells him, I am Natalie, and she seats herself in front of him. Natalie says, you gave me a license plate number, and I extracted the information for you. The license number belongs to a man named John Edward Gamble. That is, John G. Lane asks if she knows him. She doesn't say, but the face seems familiar. Maybe she has seen him at a bar sometime. Then she gives Lane the papers, and Lane takes those papers back to his hotel room. When he looks at the name on the papers, it says John Edward Gamble, meaning John G. On those papers, the photo of the man is the same as a photo Lane also has, and the name on that photo is Teddy. Leonard says that he told his name is Teddy, and on the back of his photo, it is written not to trust this Jude. Now Leonard calls him and says, Mr. John Gamble. A voice comes from there. Leonard, is that you? I am Teddy speaking. Are you still there? I am coming right now. Leonard says, okay, I am still here. And then he hangs up the phone. Leonard says that he had told me, well, Jude. Now he undresses, and his body has many tattoos, including one with clue of a man, where fact number 1 says male, meaning the man he's looking for is male. Fact number 2 says that he is a white man. Fact 3 states that his name is John, and fact 4 says his last name is G, meaning John G. Fact number 5 says that he is a drug dealer, and fact number 6 mentions his car's number. When he looks at the paper that Natalie gave him, all these details match that man. For example, he is also a male, he is a white man, his name is John Edward Gamble, that is John G, and the car number he had tattooed on his body. Leonard says that he has found you now. Behind Teddy's photo, he had already shown that you shouldn't believe his words, and after knowing all this, he also writes this down, meaning this is the one he is looking for. Now, when he is wearing his shirt, he looks in the mirror and sees that there's a tattoo on his body that is upside down, which appears straight in the mirror, and it says John G. robbed and murdered my wife, meaning John G. raped my wife and killed her. And after seeing this, behind Teddy's photo where it is written he's the one, he writes in front of it, kill him, meaning kill him because Teddy's real name is John G. And according to all the evidence he has, Teddy raped his wife and killed her. After that, he goes down to the hotel reception. That's where Teddy arrives. And this is the same scene that appears at the beginning of the film. If you want to see the ending from here, watch the first 2 minutes of the video. You'll understand what happened next. Some questions also arise in the film's climax, like how Leonard goes back to the same place where he killed Jimmy, because he was supposed to be, because Natalie had given him the location and said that Jimmy used to make his secret deals at this place, and you can kill John G here. Natalie knows that he wants to take revenge on John G for his wife's rape and murder. Question number 2, whose car is there? This car belongs to Leonard, who left it there and took Jimmy's car and left from there. Question number 3, why does Teddy say to go to the basement? Because the truth will be revealed to you there, as Jimmy's dead body is in the basement. So, this was the story of Memento. This story was so complicated that we had to tell it to you from the end to the beginning, meaning the flashback. The first scene we showed you was actually the last scene in this movie. When you watch this movie, everything will become clear to you,